Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to another topic of chemistry, which is based on manufacture or preparation of a sulfuric acid. So, firstly, I will tell you what is the importance of sulfuric acid and why we prepare. So, there is a lots of importance of sulfuric acid. So, this why we prepare. So, what is the importance of a sulfuric? Firstly, I'll explain you what is the importance of a sulfuric acid. So, sulfuric acid, which is known as H2SO4. H2SO4, which is known as sulfuric acid. So we prepare sulfuric acid because they use in many industries such as textile industry, fabric industry, sugar industry, as well as fertilizer. And we use sulfuric acid as a strong acid in a laboratory, and also sulfuric acid used in explosive substances. So this is a lots of importance of a sulfuric acid. So that's why we manufacture a sulfuric acid. So the manufacture of sulfuric acid is a must, because sulfuric acid used in many industry and many and also in our daily life, and also in a laboratory for a special purposes. So okay, now I am coming to my topic. The preparation of a sulfuric acid means the preparation of a sulfuric acid of H2SO4. H2SO4. So sulfuric acid is mainly prepared in a two process. Sulfuric acid is prepared in a two process, mean in a two method. One is lead chamber process and other is contact process. So by lead chamber process, mainly 20 to 30% of a sulfuric acid is produced. So this is less usable the production of a sulfuric acid, but mainly the sulfuric acid mainly 7 to 80% are produced from a contact process. So, and also our core content is this is present of a contact process. So we mainly draw the contact process. I will explain you what is the contact process. Because why we explain a contact process, because mainly 70 to 80% sulfuric acid is produced from a contact process. So that's why I will be explaining you what is the contact process. So the contact process. So let's begin. What is sulfuric acid mainly prepared in two processes. One is contact process and other is lead chamber process. So now this is why. So the question is the question of mine is that why this process is known as contact process, because mainly lots of chamber and a contact tower is involved in a contact process. So the topic which I am going to explain is contact process. So this why this is called a contact process, because contact tower and lots of chamber involved in it. So okay. So now the preparation starts. So now the first one is the raw material of a sulfuric acid is the raw material of a sulfuric acid is sulfur. Without sulfur, a sulfuric H2SO4 is impossible to prepare it. So sulfur is must. So sulfur is a raw material in a contact process, while the preparation of a H2SO4. So sulfur is a raw material. So okay, now now preparation starts. So the first step is we add this sulfur to pyrite chamber. Okay, this is a pyrite chamber. So we place a sulfur to in this process. Okay, so sulfur present over here. So now what should we do? Sulfur firstly we prepare sulfur add oxygen to the sulfur, so they form sulfur dioxide. In a further step we add another oxygen, so they form a sulfur trioxide. By the end of our last chamber we add a sulfuric acid again to the sulfur trioxide, so they combine sulfur trioxide combined with the H2SO4, so they form a oleum. And a further in the last step the sulfuric acid is produced. So this way step by step I will draw you how this H2SO4 is produced. So what is the second So what is the first step? First step is addition of oxygen to a sulfur. So first sulfur combines, sulfur combine with oxygen and they form SO2. So SO2 is a sulfur dioxide. So where this SO2 is formed? SO2 is formed in a Faraday chamber. How? Faraday chamber we so we add a little bit heat to this chamber, and sulfur present over here in a solid form. So they combine with oxygen. So they make a sulfur dioxide. So how air is enter in here? Air is enter here. So air mean oxygen is present in air. Carbon dioxide present here in air. So they combine with a sulfur. So they make a sulfur dioxide. So okay, so now sulfur dioxide is produced. So now in here, sulfur dioxide only will not be produced. Some impurities will be added to some sulfur dioxide. The question is why? Because the pyrite chamber is little bit exposed to the air, so mainly carbon dioxide will be enter. So also we provide a heat to this pyrite chamber to sulfur. So and here a dust particle will be added, and also some arsenic oxide will be added. So okay, some impurity will be added. Because why? Because this pyrite chamber is little bit exposed to the air, and also we add a heat to sulfur. So this why impurities add in this chamber. So sulfur dioxide produced here. Okay, sulfur is here present over here, and oxygen combined with the sulfur, so they form sulfur dioxide. But I already explained you, not only sulfur dioxide is produced, some impurities will be added. Impurity is carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide. Okay, carbon dioxide, some dust particle, okay, dust particle, and some arsenic SO2 O3 and arsenic oxide. Then also poison to the catalyst, which is a contact. We will I will explain on this. Okay, so now in here only sulfur dioxide will be not produced. Some okay, some impurity will be added in this chamber. So now we have to do firstly we have to remove these impurities. So this impurity, so and the end, so the at the end of this contact power tower, so sulfur dioxide will be produced only. Okay, we need only sulfur dioxide, not impurities. So that's why we remove one-to-one impurities from these three impurities. So now, so this impurity will be enter and also along with the sulfur dioxide enter to the dust particle chamber. What will be happen? Dust particle chamber, and here some filter will be absorbed, and here in this chamber a filter is used. So this filter, what filter do? They dust particle, they catch a dust particle. So okay, so now the dust particle is removed from a dust particle chamber. So okay, what left? What the left? So only carbon dioxide plus arsenic oxide will be left. Okay, so now this carbon dioxide and arsenic oxide along along with a sulfur dioxide, they will be entered to the next chamber, which is washing tower, and here we wash carbon dioxide. So in a form of carbonic acid, they will be settled down here. So okay, and the next step, so what will left here? Carbon dioxide with arsenic oxide, and also yeah, look over here, look in here. In this chamber we sprayed a hot water, so large, so some vapor will be passed from this chamber. Okay, from this chamber. So carbon dioxide is removed. Okay, so some H2O is added, means some water vapor add in this chamber. Okay, so what left? Arsenic trioxide in water is left. Okay, so now in a third step, in a fourth step, so what will be happen? Uh, so this water vapor and arsenic acid along with the sulfur dioxide, they enter to the drying tower. So we spread H2SO4 to the this water vapor. So what will be happen? Uh, sulfuric acid combined with the water. So the water will be removed. Only arsenic oxide and sulfur dioxide will be left. So in a fifth step, arsenic oxide also they are not directly enter to this contact tower. Why? Because they are poison. They poison to this catalyst. So in the next step, we remove arsenic oxide. So arsenic oxide react with a arsenic oxide arsenic oxide react with a iron oxide. So what they form it to so they form Fe is O3. So they form iron arsenic oxide. So and here sulfur dioxide only left, and we want this. So in the next step, sulfur dioxide is enter only a single enter because this impurities is removed from dust particle chamber, washing tower and drying tower. So only sulfur dioxide is left. So they will be entered to the contact tower. So okay, in a contact tower here by the help of vanadium oxide, so sulfur dioxide combine with oxygen with the help of catalyst, so they form sulfur dioxide. So the next step, the second step is the first step is what? The first step is oxidation of sulfur. Oxidation of sulfur. So okay, sulfur oxide combined with oxygen they form sulfur dioxide. So here the second step will be oxidation of sulfur dioxide. So sulfur dioxide combined with oxygen and they form with a help of vanadium oxide and nearly 400 to 500 degrees centigrade of a temperature. So they form sulfur trioxide. And the next step, the production of oleum will be formed from here from absorption tower. So what will be happen? So sulfur trioxide is produced here. Okay, from this tower, sulfur trioxide is produced in a contact tower. Okay, so sulfur trioxide will be further entered to the absorption tower, and here in absorption tower they absorb an absorption tower. They absorb uh, an absorption tower. Okay, let me check. Okay, they absorb. So they also we spray H2SO4 further. Okay, so they absorb. They sulfur dioxide trioxide absorb H2SO4. So oleum, they produce what? Oleum. The formula oleum is H2S2O7. So okay, so the formula of oleum is H2O7. So where an absorption tower oleum is produced. Now this oleum will be further entered to a last tower which is dilute tower. In this dilute tower, so we spread water. So okay, so little bit water we spread on a H2S on a oleum. So what will be happen? what will be happen? So they form H2SO4, 2H2SO4. So in here H2SO4 will be collect here. Okay, so lots of H2SO4 is here. Why we prepare H2SO4? Because H2SO4 is a very much important compound in our chemistry and inorganic chemistry. So that's why also they use in a lots of industries. I already explained you in a definition of a sulfuric acid. So okay, so sulfuric acid is a very much important compound. So that's why we prepare it. So this is all about the preparation of our sulfuric acid. So this is all about the preparation of a sulfuric acid. So thank you very much. So thank you very much. This is all about the preparation of a sulfuric acid. Thank you.